we, you all will hear from him what is happening around the OpenPOWER Foundation, and it's going to be a good session. And James Kulina is executive director of OpenPOWER Foundation with over 10 years of open source experience across hardware, software, and network engineering disciplines. James brings a passion for open source and is committed to growing OpenPOWER Foundation's membership community and ecosystem. He's a serial entrepreneur with a background in enterprise technology and has worked in roles spanning operations, business development, product management, and engineering. Previously, James was a co-founder of COO at Hyper.sh, an open source cloud native virtualization startup acquired by Ant Financial. Prior to that, he led the product management in Red Hat's OpenStack group and was a great lead on AT&T's first OpenStack cloud. With this, I would like to invite James to start his presentation. James, please go ahead.
Thank you, Ganeshan. And hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. It's a real pleasure to be here. So as you were saying, I am the executive director for the OpenPOWER Foundation. So I kind of just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what the foundation was and what do we have going on right now. We're really looking for people, especially the people on this call, actually, to start collaborating, contributing, and engaging with the foundation. So what is the foundation? So we are, the OpenPOWER Foundation is a nonprofit. We started in 2013. We are a global foundation. We have members all across the globe. And we really are serving two things. One is we fully open sourced the Power ISA in 2019. That was kind of a reset, I think, for the foundation. And our mission really is to accelerate the adoption of this new ISA and this open source ISA, and to drive technology innovation through some of the outputs that we do, which is specification, compliancy, and product system integration groups, and really to grow the overall ecosystem and members around OpenPOWER. And we do this by facilitating the community engagement and visibility. So things like this, Ganeshan's putting on right now, workshops, but also we will be hosting, events such as our summit coming up in November. And if you haven't already, I would suggest you guys submit any kind of talks you might want to have. But really, we're real about, promoting the power architecture and complementary technologies around power. And so if you are working on power technology, we want to know about it. We want to promote it. We want to help you contribute and connect with others that are interested in it. So historically, though, the foundation really was really focused on basically specifications and consumption of what IBM was doing with the power architecture and CPUs and systems around that. What the foundation has been doing recently, and what we've kind of pivoting right now through, is moving towards this product focus projects, if you will, these work groups. So we actually retooled the OPF to allow for these system integration groups, which I'll talk about in a second. And we created these new rules that allow non-members to actually participate. So people on this call who are not actually a member of the foundation, you can either join as an individual member, or you can actually collaborate within our work groups as is. You don't actually need to be a member to actually start participating and contributing. And the goal really is to provide this basis to build out new products and software across software, silicon, and systems, and to enable complementary technology throughout our ecosystem. So where are we going? So our current use cases, I mean, most of you know, power systems, IBM, very high end, operates very well in the high performance computing, as well as the cloud and AI. But the foundation is really trying to move and add, I guess you could say, to adding in networking, automotive, storage, industrial IoT. These are the kind of use cases that we see more of a grounds up development that we want to cultivate here at the foundation and within the wider member community. And in order to do that, we're actually creating new kinds of projects. So these are these new system integration work groups. And one of the first projects we created was actually the Libre BMC project. And if you don't know what a BMC is, it's a baseboard management controller. It's found in pretty much every single server on the planet. And these things are highly proprietary, at least the firmware has been historically, and the hardware itself. And so what we've done is we've actually created this new SIG that is going to use the Power ISA to develop a new BMC board. And we're actually collaborating with other foundations to actually do this, and a number of member companies as well. The whole thing will be completely open source, from the schematics to the designs of the software and hardware. The goal here is to actually design a Power ISA FPGA soft core. And the reason why we're doing a soft core instead of an ASIC is development speed and to get as many people involved as we possibly can. As well as lower cost and whatnot. And so this whole thing is going to be running OpenBMC, open source firmware software, as well as we're adopting the OCP, the Open Compute Project's open source hardware module specification for this. So this is actually a module that you would put inside a server instead of it being actually soldered onto the motherboard. And initially, we're going to be supporting the Xilinx Arctic 7, which you guys have actually talked about in previous talks, and as well as the Lattice ECP5. And we're going to be using open source tooling, which I'm sure some have already seen and witnessed, so SymbiFlow and LightX. So the whole thing is trying to engage as many different open source communities and allow as many people to actually contribute to this project. This is an open project, so if you want to be a participant in this, you can actually just log on to the meetings and start raising your hand to pick off some things to actually help and collaborate with, which we obviously welcome and want as many of you to participate as possible. The other thing that we're launching, we actually have the kickoff meeting next week, which is the Power ISA workgroup. And so because we are now fully open source, we are really trying to get more companies and more institutions to actually start designing with the Power ISA. And that means the evolution of the ISA. So if we're going after these new use cases, you want to make sure that you have this ability for people to actually contribute into the ISA itself and the specifications. And this is what this whole work group is all about. Now, historically, this has been kind of closed off. You just take what IBM has given you. Now we're actually providing you a mechanism to actually input, to go and really modify the ISA for your specific use case, as long as it doesn't break kind of compliancy. And so you're going to see, like LibreSoc guys, they're going to be involved in this work group, and a number of other groups are already signing up to participate in this work group, because they want to go out and build new chips, and they want to make sure that they're compliant. And if they have specific instructions they want incorporated, and they can do that through our process. And so this is another one we welcome people to actually engage in. And the new project, I think, is that we're launching soon is the Power. We're calling it the Power Pi. Essentially, what we want to create is a single board computer that is low cost, relatively low cost, that is using the Power ISA, and this would be an ASIC, and it would have a number of functionalities so we can put it on someone's desk and they can actually play around to see how the Power ISA actually operates, how the CPU operates, and as well as create basically cool stuff. So, it's for porting different software, it's for trying different things out, it's for basically hacking and development, and to get people associated and familiar with the Power architecture itself. And so this is one we're really looking for people to come in and engage with us. So this is something that we're putting a lot of effort into to make sure that we can push this forward. So this will be launching very soon, and we're creating kind of a checklist of all the different things that need to be done for this thing to come to market and for us to start marketing this thing. And we'd love help on completing all those tasks. So if you want to engage with the OpenPOWER Foundation and the community at large, you can always email me. You can email our TSC chair, to Sean. If you have something that you're already working on, you want to kind of amplify, that's what we do every day. So you can hit us up at the marketing or at the social media at openpowerfoundation.org, or you can just follow us on Twitter and ping us directly on Twitter, and we can talk from there. We'd love to have as many of you participate as possible, and we're always on the lookout for new kinds of initiatives and new kinds of workshops that we can be engaged in and kind of help. So with that, thank you very much. I'll take any questions. Yeah.
Thank you, James, for the detailed presentation about OpenPOWER Foundation and the latest, the latest and the greatest updates. OpenPOWER ISA as well as the PowerPi is a great project to work on. certainly there are like nearly 50 plus people are part of this program right now, joined, and certainly the developers will be contributing to that. And any questions for James? Satish, you have